Hello, people of Cherokee County. What's going on? Big Matt Diamond Dean's in the house. Dean, how's it going today, bro?
Good. How you doing, man?
Well, this is the college portion of our show. Guys, if you stumbled across our page, I am Big Matt, and this is Diamond Dean here, and we're going to get into some college talk here. We've went through our hot table topics. If you didn't already know, Dan Mullen has been relieved of his duties after 4 seasons. Won about 50-something games out there, but after the last few games and an overtime game yesterday with Missouri, the AD felt like it was time to move on. There's a lot of little things off the field that people are not aware of, and he said he woke up Sunday morning after getting in a late night Saturday. It's time to move on for Coach Mullen.
Wow. I'd like to know what some of that inside stuff is.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't agree with it. That's very quick, and it's not like he's garbage, you know.
No.
I mean, especially with what he did before he came to Florida. He did well at Mississippi State. He coached Tebow personally. He coached Prescott personally. He's their position coach.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Not only are you losing a head coach, you losing your quarterback coach. I'm assuming.
Well,
I just think there could have been another round.
He attempted to fire his defensive coach,
didn't he?
and another one of his other position coaches, and obviously he's trying to get things turned around. Obviously that wasn't enough. And we're old school. We're not crazy about firing coaches after 3 or 4 years. Give him a chance. He didn't have a quarterback. You need to let him recruit some and get him a quarterback in there. They didn't have a quarterback. They're not going to be very good at the games. But now we'll move on from our some of that. Day number 22, UTSA takes advantage 34-31 over UAB. Is that right?
Yes.
UTSA.
On the last
UTSA.
University of Texas, San Antonio.
Yeah. Seemed like it was a great game. Which will be down there in a couple of weeks, December 3rd, I think, on a Friday, 4th, 3rd or 4th. We'll be down there catching out some high school action. That's going to be really cool for them to open up the college place down there. Got a new place going on down there, and Coach Grice, we know he stepped down a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
They fall to Eastern Kentucky 31-39 in 2 overtimes. They got an intern coach up there helping right now. The kids seem to really respond to him. They like him a lot. Cooper goes 16 for 30 for 251 and touchdown and a pick. West runs the ball for over 100 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns on the day. And the Samuel kid that we'd been talking about all year, he had over 100 and a touchdown. JSU winds up down with 422 total yards on the day, 251 passing, 170 rush. But Eastern Kentucky was a little too much, 432 total, 300 passing, 133 rushing on the day. That 39 points was considered to be enough to go ahead and beat the Gamecocks. And McKinney, their quarterback, throws for 290, 4 touchdowns on the day against Jacksonville. He rushed for 100.
Kentucky's usually pretty good.
Well, this young man that shares the same last name as me, that has a lot of my genetic athletic ability, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, 290, 100, that's cake. It's cake, man. It's cake. He is from Coalfield, Tennessee. You know where that is?
I have no idea.
Coalfield. He's 6'3", 208. He was a 2-star coming out up there. He's a sophomore, 2,100 yards on the year passing so far. It's Morgan County, Tennessee. If anybody knows where Morgan County, Tennessee is at. But Cooper threw for 251 up there. Not Cooper Austin.
Oh, Cooper Austin. Austin Cooper.
Yeah.
Hold it. I got a player texting me.
All right. So we talked about Utah. They run amok on the Ducks. Utah winds up with 386 total yards on the day. I mean, Rising, the QB, throws for 178. But look at this, Dean. Thomas rushed for nearly 100, had 3 touchdowns, and Pledger had 46. Kuithe, K-U-I-T, Kuithe, he had 5 catches for 115. I don't know who he is. We don't keep up with Utah really out here in the state of Alabama. Now, I do know the receiver Hudson at Oregon. Now, everybody's kept up with him. He had 4 catches for almost 100. And, of course, Williams had a touchdown. Now, their quarterback, Brown, they were 0 for 2 on 4th down. And he threw for 231, Dean, 17 completions out of 35 pass attempts. But obviously, 294 yards total was not enough to beat the Utes.
No, definitely not.
They only rushed for 63 yards.
See, and they rushed for 300 last week. 2 weeks in a row, 300 yards. And they rushed for 63.
63 yards.
So you know what that tells me? Somebody did some preparation.
Well, and the Utes, their helmets were pretty cool. Marcus looked it up about how their helmets were designed. They were all hand painted, and it was for a memorial for one of a war of some sort. So they were kind of giving honor to a military ship. It was for a battleship. That's what it was about. Their helmets.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. If you can go back and look, their helmets really cool.
I just can't believe how bad they
Wasn't even close.
No, never.
Never. They never got behind this. What game stood out to you?
Well, you asked me to talk about two of them. Obviously, I'm not going to do Alabama first, but I'll talk about Ohio State first. And what stood out to me, 49-0 at halftime. He's got 393 yards and 6 touchdowns at the half. And I'm just, and you know, we don't do a lot of, we're not very critical, but I don't understand it. I do think Ohio State's better than Michigan State, but 49-0 at the half, that's 30 minutes. I mean, that's only 2.5 high school quarters.
I think after they lost that game earlier in the year, Michigan.
Purdue.
Yeah,
They ended up beating Michigan.
Yeah, after that put them on high, and then you lose to Purdue.
Yeah,
I think they packed it in.
124 yards, of course, like you said. All 3 receivers had 100. They all 3 had 100 in the first half.
And it's like beating them wasn't going to do any good anyway. What does it matter?
Right. Well, they thought, and of course they ended up with 656 total yards, 656 to 224. All 3 receivers go over 100 with 27 catches between them. That's 55 catches in 2 weeks by these 3 guys.
Yeah, Olave and
Wilson,
Smith, Jigba, and Wilson.
And Williams, who's Alabama's, who's probably the best receiver in the SEC.
Yeah. Well,
played there last year and would have been the 4th. Thank God.
Well, Michi, wound up having, several yards. So Michi went up with 173. Williams had 190.
Do you want me to talk about that one right quick?
Yeah.
Okay. We watched it. That was a great game.
Yeah, they went back and forth pretty handedly there for a while, and we love Jefferson, and of course Coach Sam.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've already said it to each other.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year.
I don't care what nobody else does or what nobody else says.
Not Nick.
No, you can win the national championship. I'm telling you, the guy's done the best job with his team of what he's had handed to him.
Him and the guy from Tennessee.
Coach Pittman's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, he has. And they showed out yesterday. Burks had 179 yards receiving. He is a flat-out stud. And, of course, Jefferson had a great game. 326 passing, 467 yards. But they just could not stop Alabama. They just couldn't. 673 yards, Matt. Young passed for a school record, 559. And on top of that, Robinson rushed for 122. And defensively, Toa made 13 tackles. And Will Anderson, who is the best defensive player in the country.
Yeah, they were
made 11.
If we mentioned Heisman talk earlier today, I heard a podcast. They were speaking about him being Anderson being. If we're going to talk about it, then he might as well be part of it.
Yeah.
But I hate when they try to analyze it to be an MVP award. Guys, the Heisman Trophy, stop. Just stop it. It's not an MVP award. An MVP award would be an O'Brien or award for a quarterback. Right. There's awards for different positions on the team. For lineman awards, from the Butkus Award for defense, and the Gertzke Award, and for kickers award they have.
You got the Ray Guy punting award. You got the Thorpe defensive back. What do you think the Heisman is? What's your definition?
The Heisman candidate trophy. A Heisman candidate is supposed to be awarded to the kid that's the most dynamic player in the country.
In college.
Period. Not the most dynamic player on Alabama, not the most dynamic player on the best team in the nation, or Ohio State because the media loves them. the best player in the country. The best player in the country, most electrifying, Michael Vick-like for my age group. That guy that you watch on TV and you go, whoa.
We don't care what the record.
Wow.
He's the best player. Yeah.
They're 3-6, but man, he can. Have you seen him play football? Like the guy that played at UCLA, Miles Jack.
Oh, Miles Jack starts now in the pros.
Miles Jack, for me, I don't care who.
He wasn't even a candidate.
He's a Heisman winner. Are you kidding?
Unbelievable.
He run the ball, catch the ball. Had 100-something tackles. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How is that not? That's worthy to me. That's what I think.
Yes, I think it's the most dynamic. That's why I was okay with Lamar Jackson winning it. Obviously okay with Johnny Manziel winning it.
So I'll get off my Heisman rant box.
You know, yes, I agree. And, you know, this don't have nothing to do with the Heisman, but you take yesterday, Alabama won that game, but I'm telling you, Burks was the most impressive player on the field, didn't he?
Yeah, he could. I told Marcus that. I said, hey, this Burks kid, he could play at Alabama.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I don't know why he couldn't.
He can play anywhere. He'll be a first rounder. We had 3 first-rounders in that game.
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know if Mechie is. There's so many dang good receivers out there. But Williams definitely is with that blazing speed.
For sure.
And Burks is just he's good.
So.
And that's pretty much all I got as far as the games I covered.
Now I got Auburn, South Carolina.
What happened? It was 14-0.
Auburn, South Carolina. I mean, Finley winds up 17 for 32 with 188. Bigsby had 164 rushing.
He had a great game. Every time I looked up, he was breaking another one.
Jackson, 7 catches for 111. Robertson even had a touchdown. But Brown, another no-name quarterback, we don't know, South Carolina, threw 3 touchdowns for 157. And then Zaquandre White, 100 rushing and 70 receiving. Harris had 62 rushing.
Harris is a good back.
Piece from Cape Coral, Florida. Senior, the white kid is. He's a senior, 6'1", 215. They rolled up with 306 total, 156 passing, 149 rush. It just seems like they were more balanced. Auburn was 6 for 14 on third downs and a fumble. 6 for 14 on third downs.
Well, yeah, that's 43%. That's not very good.
So Auburn, 17-21. The wheels are.
How many carries did Bigsby have?
I didn't.
I know they fed him a lot.
Yeah, I would, if I had to guess, I'd say 20-something.
20-something.
I could tell you. Let's see. I would assume he'd have 20-something. But it seems like, I mean, just having a new coach down there on scene, I know it's not the most fruitful thing when you have, a team that has a new coach, and there's going to be growing pains, and that's just the way it's going to be right now. For Auburn, they're just going to have new coaches until they can implement their will of what they want to do. We can just assume that he's doing the best that he can. We got to chill out and not be so crazy. He had 22 carries.
22, that's
7.5, yeah, 29 for long.
Pretty good.
Defensively, Wooten, Mundy, Simpson, all had 4 to 6 tackles. Other receiving, I guess, Bigsby had 24 receiving too, Dean. He had 1 catch for 24 yards, threw to him out of the backfield, and Hunter only had 18. I think that may be part of the problem. It seems like they're best when they're a two-headed monster on that. Finley only rushed for 7 yards, so it seems like they just kind of corralled them and kind of put them up in a huddle there. And hats off to Coach Beamer.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They beat Florida, then they come back and they beat Auburn.
So
supposed to win either one of them.
Hats off to them, man.
They're going to play Clemson this week. They would have get a win there. Clemson got a big win over Wake Forest yesterday. Dominated Wake Forest. There was a lot of blowouts yesterday.
I got
beat
Georgia Tech
55-0.
Yeah, they're supposed to. They're supposed to beat them.
I didn't think it's supposed to be that.
Well, that's Georgia Tech. I mean, Georgia Tech's not no better than Tulsa or any of those guys.
Nah, I just didn't expect it. I think the spread was 14.
Now, here's another gripe. We're going to have a little gripe session. Since we talk about Cincinnati a lot, Dean, let me bring this up to you. All right, Houston is 10-1, okay? And we're talking about the American Conference guys. In the conference play, Cincinnati is 7-0. Houston is 8-0.
Right.
Houston's only loss was to Texas Tech on September the 4th, 38-21. And Houston the ranked opponent they beat was SMU. They beat them 37-44 back on Halloween. And the only game that Cincinnati has they played a ranked team was Notre Dame. They won 24-13.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see Houston get a shot. I want to see them play Cincinnati.
When will they play?
I don't know. I looked on the schedule and I didn't see it. So,
is there not a conference championship for them?
I don't know. I looked and I didn't see anything. So that's my gripe for the day. If we're going to be pumping up Cincinnati, then I think Georgia, Alabama. You want to make a run at this national championship game? Well, you got to beat your conference team that's undefeated. Cincinnati, if you want to make a run shot at it, then you need to beat your undefeated conference opponent in Houston. They're undefeated in conference. They need to play each other.
Yes, I would agree. I don't know how this thing's going to shake out.
Well, we could assume, now after some talk yesterday with some people, it's going to be Ohio State is going to beat Michigan, we would assume. That's going to move. This is in 2 weeks, guys, not this week. That's going to move them up. Bama loses to Georgia. They're going to drop out to probably 5 or 6. So that puts Michigan down. They'll play Alabama Sugar Bowl, and Cincinnati would be 3, and Notre Dame would come in at 4 because they're just right behind. I don't think yes, Notre Dame could be 4, Cincinnati 3, Ohio State 2, Georgia 1. So Georgia would play Notre Dame first round, and Cincinnati will play Ohio State. So Georgia plays Ohio State, and Georgia beats Ohio State 36-13.
I think they beat them that bad.
Yeah, that defense there's no way. And Stroud and the receivers, and it's all great and dandy when you play up in the Big Ten with no defense, and your best defensive team Ohio State's played was ranked 67th. When you can stand back there and do your taxes and clip your toenails. But when you got them big behemoth dogs barking in your face all night long and you're getting up, after your butt, and you're getting up, and in 3rd and 3, you try to run a little screen and your wide receiver gets blowed up in the head and he get knocked down, and the quarterback's wondering why his receivers are not open, and he's wondering why his line's not blocking. Well, about the second quarter, they'll play with them for a while, and I think it'll be a good game until half, but I just don't see how the pressure that Georgia can apply to Ohio State, the clamps, they're going to clamp them down, and they'll run off with it and have 2 late scores and wind up winning bigger than probably what they should. Georgia should be national champions, and Ohio State be runner-up.
Do you think there's any chance that Alabama could beat Georgia?
If anybody does,
there's no pressure on Young.
Just some weird luck, like the Tua pass or something like that. But Bryce has been pressured this year, so he is practiced at being pressured. Good God, man, our offensive line is terrible. I watched the guard, Couch, your left guard. If he's watching that, buddy, you got to clean it up. You need to be moving your feet better. Get your head up. We drive with our legs and our hands out. He's stumbling and falling through the line. The guys are blowing past him. It's just not. But we had to move our center. He got hurt. Right tackle. He didn't play good. Even the announcers seen it. They're calling it out. So
I think that bothers me. The lack of depth at back, running back.
Yeah, we don't have that.
They got Robinson.
Elite running back. We threw to Sanders some the other night,
Sanders did have a good game, caught a 36-yard pass. Most of it was a run. He showed some.
I'm not sure how great.
But I don't.
Back he is.
12 or 14 carry.
If he's back, like if he's healthy, I mean, because.
Yeah, he has dealt with some injuries.
See, Saban said he's just now starting to come into his own through injury stuff.
Right, exactly.
So anyway.
I think that'll hurt him.
I don't.
Of course, the linebackers have great numbers.
You can never.
Noah has 84 tackles.
And Anderson's he'll have a field day with trying to tackle Cook and White. He'll have a good time up front with that. If anybody can do it, I'm just going to say this: our podcast is fixing to cut off. If anybody can beat Georgia, you just don't count out Nick Saban.
No.
But if it's just
right now, it's still going to be a 10-point spread.
If this is the game, you better beat Alabama this year. Because next year, the line, all these guys are coming back. Everybody. You're only going to lose just a couple of guys
lose everybody on defense.
So you're going to lose a couple of guys on defense. But with Kool-Aid, McKinstry there, he's going to come back and play some more. All right, podcast people, we'll catch you guys later.
I saw somebody getting on O'Brien today. I think he deserves a free pass after yesterday. 673 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he deserves much heat.
If anybody can do it, I don't know how. I ain't gonna say it over again because I know we need to move on a little something here. But if anybody can, old Saban, he's only lost to one assistant, but we're losing to one assistant this year. I don't see why it's not possible for him to lose to another assistant this year. His age is starting to show a little.
Mm-hmm.
He still gets into the game, but there's just a little something different about Saban this year.
Mm-hmm. And the team.
Something you can when the camera hits him, he just seems to be looking around it, like I don't want to say he's not lost or nothing, but I want we just had realistically he's just not going to be as sharp as he was 20 years ago. You can't be. You're 70-something. You're not the guy you was when you was 50.
Not playing. I mean, let's face it. I'm sure he loves winning, but he don't like 600-yard passing games and giving up 467
and rushing for
120. No, that's not what he
didn't grow up.
That don't send the dopamine to his brain.
0 points and we scored 20.
Yeah.
I want to rush for about 300 yards, and we're going to hold you to about 150.
That's when he's high as a kite on a trend.
Yeah, as being a coach.
After a 600-yard passing.
The game is it's growing, and it's adapting past him. It's adapting past what he has done as a coach, and he's going to go down as the greatest college football coach of all in the modern era. There's nobody else done it any better. There's no way.
No.
Nobody. It's not even close. It's some younger coaches like Lane Kiffins may be the guys to catch him later. I don't know. I think
be somebody at some point.
We thought Lincoln Riley may be a guy later to come on, but
I thought he's going to LSU.
Lincoln Riley. Well, they're coming to SEC. I don't know why he'd want to change because they're coming anyway. You're going to get to be part of that conference next year when they get bought out. So those are some of our Heisman watch people, I guess. Bryce Young and Stroud's going to be looked at. And Alabama Georgia game is going to be a nice matchup, and it looks like Cincinnati may play Ohio. Notre Dame's going to get in there. Georgia will play Notre Dame. 1-4 would play. So that's
you don't believe in Notre Dame at all, do you?
No, there's not a good program. They never have. I've never seen them be any good. I mean, they get embarrassed every time they play on a big stage. Every time. When have they beat a big ranked opponent? Tell me.
Notre Dame, Cincinnati, they got beat.
I mean, when have they beat Clemson? They didn't.
They said the other day. That's weird you said that.
When have they beat Georgia? They haven't.
They did beat Clemson.
When did they play Alabama? They couldn't even score on Alabama.
They did beat Clemson last year.
50-0 at halftime. He was just ready to go home.
2005, I think they said was the last time they really were handling the ranked teams. And then they did, like I said, they beat Clemson last year, but Lawrence did not play.
Nobody wants to go up there and play in the snow. They're just not. It's just not right. They just don't care nothing about it. It's just not real admirable to go up there and play you don't want to play in the snow. It's too cold.
Messages galore about this show. Nothing bad though. It's all good. Who's your top four right now?
Top four right now would be, of course, Bama and Georgia. Let's see here. I'll write it down so I can say I didn't.
Texted me the other day and said you put Bama over Georgia. I said I don't think so. I think you may have heard something.
I don't know. I've never put them over Georgia. Not ever.
You might have just said them first when naming your top four. And just, like you just did this thing. Who's going to be in your top four? Bama, Georgia.
Bama, Georgia's top. I mean, they're 1 and 2.
I'm like, no.
3 would have to be, I'd have to be Ohio State. And then 4 would have to be Cincinnati. I mean, that's just pretty cut and dry. And then Michigan is going to be, Michigan will be 5.
That's it. Notre Dame 6?
Yeah. Oklahoma State maybe. They may get, but they got Oklahoma this weekend, so some of this really don't matter right now. All these rankings are really for naught.
Yeah, they are. I told Matt I was going to put Ohio State up to 2, but what does it matter? 2 weeks, all that's going to be weeded out anyway.
Yeah, so you like for your 5?
Right now, I'm going Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan.
You got Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, and Cincinnati, Michigan.
I actually got Ohio State over.
You got okay, you got Ohio State too.
Yeah.
And then Bama at 3.
It might be better for them. Take a little pressure.
Cincinnati, Georgia, and then Michigan at 5. So we got the same thing. We just
It's irrelevant.
It don't matter.
2 and 3. It don't matter.
It don't, because they're all fixing to play. Michigan's going to play Ohio State. Alabama's.
So
it's a lot.
Them two, they're going to be out of 2 or out of 5, and then the other ones. I mean, that's going to change again.
Yeah, because
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, it's going to change anyway.
Well, some of it will change Saturday.
Yes.
Now, who will Ohio State or Michigan play in this championship game? Is it going to be Wisconsin, or are they on the same side? I don't really know.
No, Michigan and Ohio State will be. That'll decide for. I mean, let's see, Michigan, Ohio State. They'll.
But who's?
I don't think they don't. Do they have a game like that?
Yeah,
they do. Because I think once they win it, it'd be just solidified. They won't be.
No, they did.
They won't be a reason to play it. Well, Iowa on the other side is the other team.
Yeah.
Penn State,
but they'll still play it.
But they've done beat Penn State and them, so it wouldn't really matter anyway.
Might be Wisconsin. Wisconsin's come on and done well.
Yeah, it'll be
starting. Not so.
And maybe some of them can upset one of them Ohio State. I don't know.
Good. They have been upset this year. Oregon was definitely an upset. I don't think Oregon's as good as Ohio State.
No, I agree. I would say this. Ohio State's got, it seems like they got a better shot this year than they have in the past few years. I like Bama too, just because they hadn't lost except to A&M, and of course A&M seems like they're a little better team than Oregon. So the loss that Ohio State had to Oregon is a little worse than Bama losing to A&M. That's why I got Bama too.
Well, Oregon beat Ohio State at Ohio State.
Yeah. That's why that's the only reason I got Bama 2 and Ohio State 3.
Well, the only reason I got Ohio State 2 just because what they did to Michigan State, which some people could argue Michigan State was not that good.
Yeah.
But they were in the top 10.
Yeah. They handled business. They had a good game. Stroud did, and they all played good.
Yeah.
Now, some games coming this week, Dean. Thanksgiving Day, the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss, Mississippi State will play ESPN 6:30. So after you get stuffed with turkey, tune in to ESPN and see Kiffin and the old pirate over there, Leach. Just see them squash it out.
That's the second time I've heard that today.
See if they can do it.
And being a pirate.
Be a good game.
I will say this. I'm not a big Leach fan. Everybody knows that. But they've had a pretty good year.
They have.
They've come on. They beat Kentucky. They beat Texas A&M. They beat
Auburn there. Auburn blew it.
Auburn. Come back from 25 down.
They just kept believing. Rogers' quarterback throws for 80 times a game. Also Friday now, Arkansas will host Missouri at 2:30 on CBS. After a win over Florida, can Mizzou, can they win this one? Can they beat Arkansas after they reel from a bad loss to Alabama? I think playing with Alabama a little bit like they was like, they beat us, but we didn't feel terrible.
No.
They give them a little confidence. I think they beat Missouri handedly. And then Cincinnati will be at Eastern Carolina at 2:30 on ABC. I think Cincinnati wins handedly. Saturday, you're going to kick off the day with Georgia at Georgia Tech at 11 o'clock on ABC. 10-1 Ohio State Buckeyes at 10-1 Michigan Wolverines at 11 o'clock on Fox. Bama at Auburn, 2:30 on, I think it's going to be CBS. Oregon at Oregon State, 2:30 ESPN. Penn State at Michigan State, 2:30 on ABC. A&M at LSU, 6 on ESPN. 8-3 versus 5-6 LSU. 10-1 Oklahoma Sooners at the Oklahoma State Shoot 'em up, bang bang. 10-1 Cowboys at 6:30 night late ABC.
Hey, look for one of them. Yeah, who knows? Oklahoma State may end up.
If we want to pick it, we'll run through these quick. I'm going to say Ole Miss over Mississippi State.
Yes.
Arkansas, Missouri.
Arkansas.
Cincinnati, Eastern Carolina.
Cincy.
We like Cincy. Georgia, Georgia Tech. Georgia plays the JV, the cheerleaders, and some of the water boys, and they beat Georgia Tech. Ohio State at Michigan.
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Bama at Auburn. The Ducks at the Duck State. the Penn of States at the Sparty of Michigan State.
I'm going to pick Michigan State. Penn State, that's even match. I'm
going to go with Penn State just to be weird.
Okay. That's not weird.
Just to be different. They've been taking some lumps on the head, and I think Michigan State got their head rattled. I think they're looking ahead to play that game for some reason because they feel like beating Penn State's a bigger game to them. That don't make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they do. I heard somebody say it on a podcast this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you're playing one of the best team in the country right now. They're like, well, they already had a loss, so it don't matter if they won it or not. They're just going to try to help their conference and let them go on and stay ahead. They don't need to hurt. They don't want to hurt nobody, and that's Big Ten, man. A&M at LSU.
A&M. Could be an upset, though.
Now, it's at LSU, 6 o'clock ESPN. Oklahoma Sooners 10-1 at Oklahoma State 10-1.
Oklahoma State.
I was too.
Let's do it.
So, only one we disagree, we don't really disagree. I'm just being different. Penn State, I just think
that's it.
Penn State
that may be a 7-point spread.
Penn State may shock Michigan State. I don't know. Monday Night Football, guys. 3-6 Giants will take on you Bucks. 6-3 on ESPN. Antonio Brown's probably going to be out. Titans lose close on day 22-13 over the Texans. Dean, what was the final for Cowboys and Chiefs? Because the Chiefs was just the Chiefs were putting on a show.
They are.
Cowboys. The Cowboys have the best high-flyingest offense of the Cowboys since 1980. They are just running the score up on people. Cowboys are playing great. Dak's out there flexing on people.
Chiefs won
19-9. See,
and
19-9.
Dallas had 298 yards. They're going to be getting on McCarthy. They're 7-3. And Kansas City's coming on.
Well, they'll be 7-4
they
now.
Really are.
Now the Ravens, Lamar. He didn't get to play today. They're 6-3.
Did they win?
I don't know.
Let me look at the NFL score. Hold it.
And,
yeah, we got a minute, yeah.
The Patriots.
NFL scores. Let's see here. I got them all right here.
Patriots 25 to the Falcons 0.
Yeah, I saw that.
Looks like Mac was 22 for 26, throw for 207, a touchdown and a pick. He's 2,500 on the year, guys. Mac Jones is 14 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Matt Ryan throwed for 152 with 2 picks.
Ravens beat the Bears.
What was the
16-13. Vikings upset the Packers 34-31.
Wow.
Colts hammered the Bills. That's an upset.
Wow, that's big. I like the Bills.
41-15.
What?
Browns
They may not play.
Lions remain winless. 13-10. Washington upset the Panthers. Cam did have a good game though. They didn't upset them. They beat the Panthers.
Yeah, I think he had 2 touchdowns. So.
Texans beat the Titans. They're dead in the water without Henry. It appears that they're. Well, yeah, I say that. They're 2-1 without him. Never mind. I'm sorry I said that. 49ers beat the Jaguars 30-10. Eagles beat the Saints 40-29. Bengals beat the Raiders 32-13. Cardinals beat the Seahawks 23-13. Dolphins beat the Jets 24-17. And that is it.
Well, let's get up here and go eat something. Watch Yellowstone. Who's down?
Yellowstone. What's that about?
About some Mexican mafia guys. It's about a pizza delivery guy. He's got a catering service up in North Pole.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, kind of help Santa Claus do some stuff.
What is that? Polar Express?
Yeah, Yellowstone. All right, let's get out of here.
Maybe it was that you were referring to.
I'm just making it up off the top of my head.
Yellowstone. I'm listening here. I'm still looking at these. I'm seeing what Cam did today. Cam had over 200 yards of offense.
Yeah,
He's playing admirable. He acts like he's happy again.
Well, he fits that system where you just react, you just have 1 or 2 plays. That's what he thrives on. That large stuff like Darth Vader likes to do up there. Belichick, he don't fit into that system. He just don't fit. That's not what they are looking for. He don't fit. I don't know why he went up there. Just I don't know. But anyway, we'll cut it loose, guys. Let's get out here and go put our feet up and get ready to go work in the morning for a few days. Guys, again, thank you to our sponsors. As always, high school season, Dean. It's been a good season.
Oh, great season. Congrats to Cooper.
Yes, Cooper Austin, Player of the Year. We'll be back next week.
Luke Wells.
Yeah.
Hey, and in 3 weeks, we're going to have our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
It's our show anniversary.
Yeah, well, we started it doing a bowl pick'em. After Christmas sometime.
15th.
Yeah, right around Christmas. So
on a Saturday, let me see. I don't think we'll actually be on the 15th. But,
Yep.
The 15th is on a Tuesday or Wednesday. But there will be 2 years. And I never would have dreamed it.
No, I
You
know.
just called me and said, "Hey man, you want to do a radio thing?" This is a true story. Matt called me or texted me.
WDKR Shane Decker was doing internet radio.
I'm going to a ball game to watch.
I said, hey, he's got some MP3 recorders. We'll just set them up on the table and we'll just give our picks.
Come by tomorrow and we'll talk about the ball game.
Yeah, we met up there at the church and went in the Sunday school room and
went in the Sunday school.
Set them up down there. And
on a Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, just went in there and set them up, talked for 40 minutes, a little history of some teams and picked our games, and he put them on the air, and we got a little bit of traction on there. And I thought, well, you know, sometime let's get more broader. So we'll put college on Facebook. And then we got my phone set up. And we started doing that and started interviewing coaches. Well, we noticed, you know, more and more people watched as we interviewed high school players, and we started having players of the week, and it just grew and grew. And we're on YouTube now, and we got podcasts, and so it's been weird.
Yeah, I would have never, you know, and like I said, I actually thought that was a one-time thing.
I'm just going to make a pick, and that'd be the end of it.
Yeah, we talk about it once, and then maybe come back and see how we did.
Yeah, talk about our wins. And we did. And we record a lot of them at his kitchen table. We just talk about college recruiting and
people banging on the door.
Oh, man, that was crazy.
Well, they didn't know. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't know. Man, Todd's show. What? What is that?
Well, we wasn't even named nothing then.
Yeah.
We just, hey, we're doing this for, we had no name.
No, we had a name.
Did we, from the start?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the first week or two we did.
Yeah, I already had it figured out.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know we'd gone formal.
And then we went to, because that was what he called it when he'd introduced the show.
Oh, yeah, well, that's right. See, I done forgot it's been so long.
Shane will do introduction on it, so.
We got to, huh?
Okay, yeah, we got to go. Yeah, I got to go. All right.
All right, guys.
Y'all have a great week.
Great week.
Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God.